Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Brain.
And I'm Anna. We're super excited to have you with us today.
If you're learning English and want to feel more confident when speaking, you're in the right place. This podcast is made for you, the learner who wants to speak naturally without overthinking.
Absolutely. And today's episode is really practical. We're going to talk about how to speak about your job in English, something that comes up all the time in real life, right?
Yes, all the time. Whether you're at a job interview, chatting with someone at a party, or introducing yourself in a new class, sooner or later, someone is going to ask, "What do you do?"
And for many English learners, that question can feel a little scary. You might know the words in your native language, but when it comes to English, everything feels blank.
Exactly. So today we're going to help you get over that. We'll teach you simple phrases, useful vocabulary, and also do some real-life job conversations together.
We're going to cover how to describe your job now, talk about past jobs, and even how to talk about your career goals in English. Oh, and we've got a fun little game coming up too.
Nice! And don't worry, if you don't have a job right now, you can still learn how to talk about things like studying volunteering or what you want to do in the future.
That's right. And as always, we'll keep things slow, clear, and conversational, just like you're talking with friends.
All right, let's dive in. First, why is it so important to learn how to talk about your job in English?
Okay, Brain. So before we get into the vocabulary and phrases, let's talk about why this topic matters. Why is talking about your job in English so important?
Great question, Anna. Honestly, it's one of the most common topics in everyday conversations. When people meet for the first time, they often ask, "What do you do?" It's a classic small talk question.
Yeah, it happens all the time. I mean, just think at a networking event, at a party, even online when you meet someone in a group. Talking about your job helps build connections.
Exactly. And for English learners, this is a golden opportunity to practice speaking. It's something you already know about your own job, so it should be easier to talk about if you have the right words.
That's true. Plus, it can be super useful for professional reasons. Imagine going to a job interview or an international conference. You need to explain what you do, your responsibilities, and your experience all in English.
And the more naturally you can do that, the more confident and professional you sound. It's not just about using correct grammar, it's about making a good impression.
Right. And even if your job isn't in an English-speaking country, knowing how to describe it in English can still open doors. Freelance work, remote jobs online, networking.
Totally. Also, Anna, some learners tell me, "But I'm just a student," or "I'm not working right now." And I always say, that's okay. You can still talk about your daily routine, your field of study, or even your dream job.
Exactly. And practicing now means you'll be ready later. It's like preparing your future self for success.
I love that. So to sum it up, talking about your job in English helps you start conversations, grow professionally, practice speaking confidently, and connect with people from around the world.
Couldn't have said it better. And don't worry if you feel nervous, we're going to walk you through it step by step.
All right, ready to jump into the real tools? Let's talk about some useful vocabulary and phrases to describe your job in English. All right, now it's time to give our listeners some practical tools. Anna, let's go over some of the most common phrases and vocabulary people can use to talk about their jobs in English.
Yes, let's start with some basic sentence starters. These are useful when someone asks you, "What do you do?" or "What's your job?" So here are a few simple ways to answer that. I work as I work in, I'm responsible for.
Nice. So let's give some examples. I'll go first. I work as a software developer. How about you?
I'm a content creator, or I work in digital marketing. See? Very natural, very simple.
Yes. And if you want to say more about what you do every day, you can use my job involves, I'm in charge of, I mainly focus on, I handle.
Let's try those in action. My job involves creating and editing online content, or I'm in charge of planning social media campaigns.
That sounds super professional. And here are some common verbs people can use to describe their work. Manage, design, support, assist, organize, teach, build, analyze, operate, negotiate.
Let's do a quick word match. I'll say the job, and you tell me a verb that goes with it.
Teaches, supports, treats, diagnoses, manages, leads, organizes, plans.
Perfect. So listeners, when you talk about your job, try using 1 or 2 strong action verbs. It makes your sentence more powerful.
And one more helpful tip, use present simple tense when talking about your current job. For example, I manage a team of 5. I design websites for small businesses. Keep it simple and clean.
Also, don't worry if your job is not fancy. Every job is important. Whether you clean, cook, code, or care, you can still describe it proudly in English.
Yes. And if you're not sure how to say your job in English, try using simple words. For example, I work in construction. I fix cars. I help customers at a store. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be clear.
Exactly. And by practicing these phrases, you'll be ready for any situation where you need to talk about your job.
All right. Coming up next, we'll show you how to describe your job clearly, step by step. So now that we've looked at useful phrases and verbs, let's take it one step further. Anna, how can someone describe their job in a way that's simple, clear, and easy to understand, even for beginners?
Good question. The secret is to keep it organized. Think of it like this. Step 1, job title. Step 2, main responsibilities. Step 3, tools or skills you use. Step 4, work environment.
That was super clear. And notice every sentence was simple, short, and direct. No complicated grammar, just real communication.
Exactly. That's the key. Don't try to sound too formal. Just talk like you would to a friend.
Let's do another one. I'll go this time. Step 1, job title. I'm a software developer. Step 2, responsibilities. I build and improve apps for mobile phones. Step 3, tools skills. I use programming languages like JavaScript and Python. Step 4, environment. I work in an office with a small tech team.
Love it, and even if someone doesn't understand every word, the meaning is still very clear.
Now, listeners, here's a tip for you. Practice this structure with your job. You can even write it down in your notebook and read it out loud.
Yes, and if your job is more complicated, don't worry. Just focus on the basics. For example, I work as an accountant. I help companies manage money. I use Excel and accounting software. I work in a quiet office.
That's all you need. 4 short sentences and boom! You've described your job in English.
Also, if your job includes something special or fun, you can add it at the end. Like I travel a lot for my work. I meet new people every day. I work night shifts.
Great idea. Those little details make your description more interesting.
So to wrap this part up, remember, keep it simple. Use short sentences. Follow the 4-step structure. Speak slowly and confidently.
All right, in the next part, we're going to practice. You'll hear us do some short job conversations so you can hear how it all sounds in real life. Okay, now it's time for some live practice. We're going to do a few short conversations about different jobs. Listeners, your job is to listen carefully, notice the vocabulary, and repeat with us later if you want.
We'll keep it slow, simple, and clear, just like a real-life conversation. Hi, what do you do?
I work as an administrative assistant at a law firm.
Oh, interesting. What are your main duties?
I schedule meetings, organize documents, and answer phone calls. I also support the legal team with daily tasks.
Sounds like a busy job.
It is, but I enjoy it. It keeps me organized and focused. Nice and simple. That's a great example of formal professional conversation.
Exactly. Now let's try something more casual.
Hey, Anna, what kind of work do you do?
I'm a barista. I make coffee and serve customers at a cafe downtown.
Cool. Do you like it?
Yeah, I love meeting people and making their day better with coffee.
Do you work full-time?
Right now, just part-time. I'm also studying business at university.
Great. Very natural and relaxed. That kind of talk happens all the time in casual settings.
Yeah, and it's useful for people working part-time or while studying. Do you work in an office?
No, I work from home. I'm a freelance graphic designer.
Oh, nice. What do you design?
Mostly logos and marketing materials for small businesses. I work online and communicate with clients by email.
Sounds flexible.
It is, I love the freedom, but it also requires discipline.
That one's great for people who work online or freelance.
Exactly. So listeners, as you heard, every job conversation had these things in common. Job title, daily tasks. Some personal opinion or feeling. Natural questions and answers.
And you don't have to speak fast or use big words. Just say what you do in a simple, confident way.
So now it's your turn. Think about your job or your dream job and practice saying 2 or 3 sentences about it.
Or even better, pause this podcast, say your job out loud, and then come back for the next part because we're going to talk about how to describe past jobs and your career goals.
All right, welcome back. Now that we've practiced talking about current jobs, let's talk about something just as important, past jobs and future goals.
Yes, because in real life, people often ask questions like, what did you do before this job? Why did you leave your last job? What do you want to do in the future?
Exactly. So first, let's go over some useful phrases to talk about past jobs. You can say, used to work as I worked at my job, involved I was responsible for.
Let me give an example. I used to work as a receptionist at a hotel. I was responsible for checking in guests and answering calls.
Perfect. Just remember to use past tense verbs like worked, managed, helped, organized. Here's mine. I worked as an English tutor for 2 years. I helped students improve their speaking and grammar.
Great. Now let's talk about future plans. You can say, in the future, I'd like to, I'm planning to, I hope to, I want to.
And if you want to sound more advanced, try, I'm looking to grow in, I'm aiming to become a.
Let's do a few examples. In the future, I'd like to become a project manager. I'm planning to open my own business someday. I hope to work abroad.
All of those are great. And remember, even if you're not sure about the future, you can still answer with something simple like, I'm still exploring my options. I'm open to new opportunities.
Exactly. It shows that you're thinking ahead even if you don't have all the answers yet.
So, listeners, try this. 1. Talk about a job you had before. 2. Then say one sentence about what you want in the future.
Here's a quick example. I used to work in a call center. Now I'm learning English because I want to work in customer service for an international company.
Beautiful. Now, let's move on to something really helpful. Pronunciation and fluency tips for talking about jobs.
All right, let's talk about something many learners struggle with: pronunciation and fluency when talking about their job.
Yes, because sometimes you know what you want to say, but it just doesn't come out smoothly. That's totally normal.
So let's give a few simple but powerful tips to sound more natural and confident when speaking about work.
Don't try to say everything in one long sentence. Instead, break it down. For example, I am a software engineer who works with back-end systems and builds APIs and sometimes manages small projects and also attends meetings. I'm a software engineer. I build APIs and manage small projects. I also attend meetings.
Much easier to say and much easier to understand. In English, we often connect words when we speak. For example, I work as a teacher. I'm in charge of the team. He's a designer.
These little links help your speech sound smoother. Try repeating short phrases quickly but clearly. English is a stress-timed language. That means we put more emphasis on important words like nouns and verbs. I work as a nurse. I manage a small team. I'm responsible for training new staff.
Say it with rhythm, emphasize those strong words, and relax the small ones like as for a, this one's powerful. You find a short recording like this podcast and repeat after us sentence by sentence. Try to match our speed, tone, and rhythm.
Let's try one live. Repeat after me, listeners. I work as an engineer. My job involves solving problems. I enjoy working with a team.
Awesome. Do it a few times every day and you'll start sounding smoother without even thinking about it.
Remember, pronunciation improves with repetition, not with pressure. Don't rush it. Just practice a little every day.
Exactly. You don't need to sound perfect, you just need to be clear and confident.
All right. Coming up next, your turn to practice. We'll give you a mini challenge to try speaking about your job. All right, now it's your turn to speak. Yes, you listening right now.
We're going to give you a fun little challenge. Don't just listen, pause the podcast, and practice out loud. Even if you're alone, pretend we're sitting right in front of you.
Ready? Here's how it works. We'll give you a sentence starter. Your job is to finish the sentence about your job or your dream job in English.
Let's go repeat this and complete it. I work as a...
Now try. My job involves.
Great, now this one I used to do my work.
And one more. In the future, I want to.
Now we'll give you 3 action verbs. Try to make a short sentence with each one.
The words are manage, create, support.
Okay, now pause and try to say 3 sentences using those verbs. Go ahead, we believe in you.
Now the big challenge. Using everything we taught you, describe your job or your dream job in 4 short sentences. 1. Your job title. 2. Your main tasks. 3. The tools or skills you use. 4. One thing you like about your job.
Here's a quick example. I'm a driver. I pick up passengers and take them to their destinations. I use a GPS and my phone. I like meeting new people every day.
Now it's your turn. Pause the podcast and try your 4 sentences now. Speak clearly, and don't worry if it's not perfect.
Great job. If you did that out loud, you're already improving your speaking skills. Just a few minutes a day can make a huge difference.
Coming up next, we'll play a quick and fun game, Guess My Job. So stay with us.
All right, it's game time. Let's have a little fun with what we've learned so far.
This game is called Guess My Job. One of us will describe a job without saying the job title. The other has to guess what the job is.
And you, listener, you can guess too. Try to figure it out before we say the answer. Let's see how many you get right.
Okay, here's the first one. I wear a uniform. I help people when they're sick or injured. I work in a hospital. I sometimes work at night. What's my job?
That sounds like a nurse.
Correct? Or maybe a doctor, but nurse fits perfectly.
Your turn, listener. Guess this one. I don't work in an office. I build things using bricks, cement, and tools. I often work outdoors. I wear a hard hat.
That one's easy. It's a construction worker.
Yep, or a builder. Either one is great.
Okay, last one. I use a camera every day. I take pictures of people, events, and places. I sometimes work in a studio, sometimes outside. I edit photos on a computer.
That was fun. And a good way to review job-related vocabulary.
Absolutely. And listeners, you can try this game with a friend or even by yourself. Describe a job using 3 or 4 clues and try not to say the job title.
It's a great speaking activity, and it helps you think in English too.
Next up, We'll talk about some common mistakes learners make when talking about their jobs and how you can avoid them. All right, Anna, let's get real for a moment. Even with all the practice, learners often make some common mistakes when talking about their jobs. Want to share a few?
Sure, one big mistake is overusing simple words like do or thing. For example, saying I do things in the office is very vague.
Right. Instead, try to use stronger verbs. Instead of do things, say manage schedules or write reports. It sounds clearer and more professional.
Another mistake is mixing up tenses, like saying I work in a store last year. That's confusing because work is present tense and last year is past.
Good point. The fix? Use past tense for past jobs. I worked in a store last year. Easy.
Also, some learners try to sound too formal or use complicated words they don't feel comfortable with. It can make their speech less natural.
Yeah, it's better to keep it simple and clear. Using natural, easy words shows confidence.
Another thing is pausing too much or speaking too fast without practicing. That can make you lose your listener's attention.
Practice speaking slowly and clearly like we showed you in the pronunciation tips.
And finally, don't forget to prepare a little before important conversations. It's okay to write down your job description and practice it a few times.
Absolutely. Preparation gives you confidence.
So remember, avoid vague words, keep your tenses consistent, speak naturally, and practice regularly.
And if you do all that, you'll sound great when talking about your job in English.
Before we wrap up, Brain, I want to share something important with our listeners.
Please do, Anna.
Learning to talk about your job in English isn't just about words or grammar. It's about building confidence and opening new doors.
Absolutely. I remember when I first started learning English, I was nervous to even say what I did for work. But every time I practiced even just a little, I got better.
That's right. And one thing I tell learners is, don't wait for the perfect moment or to be perfect yourself. Start talking today even if it's just a few sentences.
Yes. Practice in front of a mirror with friends, or even by recording yourself. The more you speak, the easier it becomes.
And here's a quick tip for you. Try describing your job at the end of every day before you go to bed. Just say a few sentences about what you did.
That's a great idea. It's like training your brain to think in English every day.
Exactly. Little steps every day lead to big improvements over time.
So keep going, keep practicing. And remember, we're here with you every step of the way. All right, let's quickly review what we covered today.
We learned how to talk about your job in English, starting with simple phrases and useful vocabulary.
Then we talked about how to describe your job clearly using 4 easy steps: job title, responsibilities, tools or skills, and work environment.
We practiced real conversations, learned how to talk about past jobs and future goals, and even played a fun guessing game.
Plus, we shared pronunciation tips and common mistakes to avoid. So now you've got a solid foundation.
Now for your homework. Yes, homework. Don't worry, it's simple.
Write or say out loud 5 sentences about your current job or your dream job. Use the 4-step structure we talked about.
Try to include action verbs and practice your pronunciation. Then record yourself if you can and listen back.
And remember, practice a little every day. Consistency is the key to improvement.
We'd love to hear how it goes. Feel free to share your sentences with us on social media or in the comments.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the English Learning Podcast. Thanks so much for listening and practicing with us.
Yes, thank you. Remember, talking about your job in English is a skill you can improve step by step. Keep practicing and be proud of your progress.
If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss our future lessons.
And speaking of future lessons, next time, we'll explore how to express emotions in English at work. It's a great topic if you want to sound more natural and connect better with your colleagues.
Can't wait. Until then, keep speaking, keep learning,